I guess what happened in the 24 hours leading up to Chris's passing?
Well, okay. He got this. It happened Sunday night. He got the surgery on Monday. Tuesday, he went to TV taping in a wheelchair, cast, crutches, the whole thing, in his business clothes, his Ric Flair clothes, as he called them. Worked the TV taping. He broke actually 3 crutches over people, just in, the midst of things. We went back to the locker room, and everybody would give him standing ovations coming back. They're like, holy fuck. We already thought he was great, but now he just had surgery, and he's even better.
Right.
Because he was so fired up. He's like, well, I'm not going to go out there half-assed. I'm going to go out there at 200%, even with the cast, to prove that I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Right.
And he would come back from everything he did at the TV tapings, and the whole locker room and the bosses and everything were just like, it's unfucking real.
Right.
And Dusty loved him like crazy before that, but he loved him even more because he showed his heart. He really did.
Right.
But so then that was Tuesday. Wednesday he flew home, picked him up at the airport around noon. Starting to get upset already. Picked him up at the airport about noon and drove him home, and he was in a lot of pain. Painkillers weren't doing anything. Well, first he said, honey, go get my prescription. He gives me a prescription. I said, this is only your painkillers. I said, where's your antibiotic? He's like, what antibiotic? I said, hon, you got cut open. You have metal in your ankle. Two plates and 9 pins and screws. You need an antibiotic. I said, with all the surgery that I've had, you get an antibiotic before you have surgery. You do. It's just a fact. You can have antibiotic when you get cut. I said, this is all they gave me. So I go and get it filled, but then I'm looking through his discharge papers, and all it says is about the pain medicine. It says, take your pain medicine and don't eat after surgery for 6 hours. That's all it said. I said, something ain't right. So I took a nap, and, we went to bed. Thursday, he woke up, so much worse pain. His whole leg was starting to swell.
Was he advised not to fly, too?
I'll get to that.
All right, okay.
Gets home, wakes up, so much more pain, his leg swollen, his foot swollen, he can't even, get out of bed. And he's crying because he's in so much pain. He was breathing fine, he was laying in the bed, but he was breathing like he had, congestion or something. It just got worse over the course of the day, and then around 7 o'clock, I said, hon, we're going to the hospital. He's like, no, I spent enough time in the hospital, I'm not going to the hospital. I said, you're not breathing right, you're in too much pain, something's not right. I call 911. And they come, they said, yeah, it's definitely not right, we think he has pneumonia. So instead of bringing him to a local hospital, we're going to go up to Robert Wood Johnson, a much better hospital. So they took him in the ambulance, I rode in the front of the ambulance. We get there, they do chest x-rays, the doctor's like, yeah, he has pneumonia, and it happens a lot after surgery. They show me his chest x-rays. When you take a chest x-ray, if your lungs are clear, they're black. If they're full of fluid, they're white. You saw no black. It was completely white. Like, he has pneumonia. He's like, we have to drain his lungs. I said, okay. I went back in there and said, honey, they've got to drain your lungs. He's like, okay. I said, and the doctor's trying to convince me to convince you to get you put asleep because it's going to be painful so you don't feel it. He goes, no, just tell him to drain my fucking lungs. I don't want to get put asleep again. Because Chris and I always had this thing with general anesthetic. We don't like it. Like, I had 2 boob jobs and a nose job totally awake. I just had a local sedative. I just had local anesthetic, and I'm wide awake from my nose getting chiseled away and 2 boob jobs. We don't get general anesthetic unless you need open heart surgery.
Right.
But basically, numb us, do your job, and let's go home. So I told the doctor, I said, just drain it. He doesn't want to be put to sleep. He's like, please convince him. It's a really not a comfortable thing. I go back in there. I said, honey, let them put you out. Drain your lungs. Everything will be fine. I said, I'll be in the next room. Everything will be okay. He's like, all right, fine. So I kissed him. I said, I love you. He says, I love you too. I said, I'll see you when you wake up. Go in the next room. I'm sitting there. And by then, I called his dad to come up. I said, pneumonia, this, that, and the other. So me and my mom and his dad are sitting right in the next room. 20 minutes later, doctor comes in, kneels down in front of me, and says, sorry, he's gone. I said, what? I said, you're sorry he's gone? I said, what are you talking about? Gone where? Did he get up and walk out? He's like, no, we lost him. I'm like, what do you mean? I don't comprehend this. I said, you were putting him to sleep to drain his fucking lungs, and he was gone? And then that's when they said they found the blood clot. They said after the surgery, a blood clot formed in his ankle and went to his lungs, which caused pneumonia, and went to his heart. And there's nothing they could have done. I said, did you try to revive him? They said it wouldn't have worked because the blood clot had just destroyed everything in there.
See, I thought he passed away at his house.
No.
I didn't know that.
He was in the hospital. So basically, I put him asleep. I said, honey, everything will be fine. I'll see you in 20 minutes. And that was it. The doctor, I started beating on the doctor. I started punching the doctor in the face. I was just a lunatic. And I said, God, what did I say to the doctor next? Oh, the doctor says to me, he goes, where did he have the surgery? I said, Florida. He goes, why the hell did he fly home? I said, what are you talking about? He goes, why did he fly home? You can't fly after surgery. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, well, the altitude caused the blood clot, the altitude of the plane. I said, are you kidding me? I said, when he got home and he gave me his prescription, it was for pain, no antibiotics. The doctor goes, no antibiotics? I said, no. He goes, what were his instructions? I said, do not eat for 6 hours after surgery. He goes, it said nothing about not flying home? I said, nothing. He said, well, that's what caused the blood clot, was the altitude.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys take legal action against the hospital on it?
Well, I requested all the papers from the hospital down in Florida. Finally, like 3 months after everything, I finally got this huge envelope. And I have a few lawyer friends that work out in my gym, and I've explained everything to them. Like, oh yeah, you have a negligence, malpractice, and wrongful death case. So I'm just looking for the right lawyer to proceed with that.
Right.
I have all these papers that have nothing about an antibiotic and no instructions of flying home. And his address on all the papers is New Jersey. They knew we had to come home. I mean, if they said you can't fly home, we have 30 friends in Florida he could have stayed with for 2 months. He could have stayed with Shane for 6 months if he had to.
Right.
With anyone, you know? Anyone at all. And Shane even said that when I saw him at the funeral. He's like, you know, he can stay with me as long as he needs. I'm like, I know. But we didn't know that. No one said anything.
What went through your head? You know, obviously you were really distraught and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of people were worried that you were going to do something to yourself. Did you ever think of that? Or
no, I'm not a suicidal person.
Okay.
That kind of thing has never crossed my mind about anything. You don't understand. When I was 20, I lost my father, my best friend. When I was 24, I lost my niece when she was 16, was brain dead in a car accident, who was probably the closest thing I'll ever have to a daughter. And then Chris. I wasn't suicidal the first two. I'm not going to be suicidal the last one. I'm too strong and stubborn of a person to want to kill myself over something like that.
Right.
I mean, seriously. I mean, I've never in my life said I want to die. Never. Most of the time I'm like, all right, this fucking sucks, but I'll move on. I'll get over it. Because that's just, I'm Russian, and I'm a Sagittarius, and we're strong sons of bitches.
Right.
Seriously. And, yeah, no, never in my life. Yeah, a lot of people were calling me, like, people I haven't even heard from in years. Oh, my God, we're so worried about you doing something to yourself. I'm like, I'm not going to do anything to myself. I said, lay off. You're starting to drive me a little nuts here. You know, first of all, you just woke me up. Second of all, you're interrupting CSI. Third of all, I'm not killing myself.
Right.
But no, absolutely not.
Were you the one who had to break the news to his family?
Well,
They were
like
there.
I said, on the way up to the hospital, I called his father.
Right.
So he met us there. And then right after it happened, that's when we called his mom and everybody else, and they came to see him basically before they carted him away.
Did anyone step up and help you make arrangements and things like that?
Well, here's another complicated thing. Not many people know this, but Chris and I were never legally married. We have no legal pieces of paper saying that we were legal married, because we never did. As far as we were concerned, if we were together, it's all that mattered. You know, nothing else mattered. So we didn't care. We said one day if we have a family, that's when we'll get married.
Right.
But it didn't matter to us. And because I wasn't legally his wife, guess who got to make all the arrangements? Mommy and Daddy.
Right.
We were supposed to meet at the funeral home to make all the arrangements, and I walk in and they were already there. His mom, stepfather, father and stepmother. I walk in and sit down, and before I can even say hello, his mom goes to me, goes, well, we've decided we're going to cremate him. I said, excuse me? So you didn't even ask me what I think? She goes, well, you know, I'm not always going to live in New Jersey the rest of my life, so I want to bring him with me. I said, wait a minute. Was that one of the most morbid things I've ever heard? I said, well, first of all, I don't agree with cremation. Second of all, I was hoping to bury him with my dad because they were really close, you know? And I said, I understand, okay, if you don't want to bury him with my dad, but I don't want him cremated. They're like, well, you don't have a choice. But his mom goes, his mom goes, don't worry, I want to cremate him because I want to bring him with me, but don't worry, you're going to get a third. I was like, wait, you're going to separate it in 3 ways for mother, father, and me? What the fuck is that? What the fuck? What, better if you want to cremate him, then you want to divide it up?
Right.
What, do you want to sell some on eBay while you're at it fucking too? I got so pissed off. I was sitting there just fuming. And then the funeral director was writing out like the forms and stuff. And as soon as he comes to marital status, his father yells out single. I stood up and I got his father's face. I said, you motherfucker, I didn't spend 15 years with this man because I'm single. So you just fucking disrespected me. I walked out, I slammed the door, I went into the bathroom, slammed the door. Here comes his stepmother, his father's wife, after me. How dare you talk to my husband like that? I said, no, hold on. How dare him talk to me like that? I said, there were years he didn't speak to his father because they never got along. Who was there for him? Me. That was it. I said, they never even had a relationship after a bunch of years. You know, I'm the one who had the closest relationship with him, and I'm being disrespected left and right. So finally I was like, you know what? I don't want any part of you people. I'm done with you. I said, you make the arrangements, I'll be there. I just,
Right.
Go ahead. Have your fucking fun. You know, do what you want to do. So they made all the arrangements. They did everything like that. Then at the funeral, I was sitting there in the funeral home, and his mom comes up to me and says, basically, it's my fault. I should have taken him to the hospital sooner. I could have prevented it. I could have prevented it. How could I have prevented it? The doctor said there was nothing anybody could have done. Nothing. But I could have prevented it if I took him sooner. And then basically, I'm not going to say the exact words she said, but something in fact that it should have been me, not him. So basically, I haven't spoken to his mom since, and I don't care to. Talked to his dad. His dad, of course, supported what she was saying, that I should have brought him to the hospital sooner. I only spoke to him once since then. So his mother I have never spoken to again. His father once so far. But his little sister and his brother, we're close. We're still tight.
Right.
I see them all the time.
Did anyone surprise you by attending the funeral, or did not attend?
Oh my God. First of all, there was no one who did not attend. Were you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't think there was anybody who didn't attend. We had people that flew in from Japan to come. People flew in from all over the freaking world. I don't know what service you were at, because the thing was such a blur, and there were so many people that, I mean, remember the night session?
Yes, it was packed.
I got there, I was like...
There's a line outside.
It was like an indie show.
There was a line. I swear to God, I looked up at this guy, I said, you finally sold this son of a bitch out.
All right.
Finally. I couldn't believe it. It was like a jam-packed indie show with, I mean, but everybody. Everybody.
There was people I haven't seen since ECW since like 94.
I know. It wasn't
95.
just an indie show. There was WWE.
Everybody.
Almost the entire TNA crew came. Terry Funk, Sabu, bunch of guys from Japan. You name it, they were there.
Dixie Carter.
Yeah. Her father came the next morning to the funeral. I never even met Dixie, and she comes right up to me and hugs me and everything. I don't even remember everyone that was there because I was so overwhelmed, and so I was just like in awe. I couldn't believe it. It was the biggest house Chris ever drew.
Right.
You know damn well it was. But I could not believe it. And that session was only supposed to be from 7 to 9. We extended it from 6 to 9 because we thought there'd be more people. We were there from 6 to 11:30. It was fucking nuts. It was nuts. I mean, that's how I was even saying to him, like, look how many people love you.
Right.
You know, it was hard, but it was actually good because everybody showed, you know.
Right. I was going to ask you, how did you handle things over the next few weeks following the funeral once everything calmed down?
I was a basket case. I didn't do anything. I sat in bed. Didn't eat. I might have eaten 3 meals a week. Not 3 meals a day, 3 meals a week. I'd go for a whole day without food. Because I couldn't eat. Couldn't. I had to sit in bed, watch TV, and I wouldn't even shower for a week. I couldn't. Couldn't get up. Couldn't move.
And I knew Franny took you under her wing, and a couple people like Dawn.
Yeah, I went to Dawn to stay with Dawn for a few days. That was good. Talking to Franny a lot, but I just needed time to kind of get my head together, and it did.
Right.
It did.
How did you stay afloat and keep positive?
Well, of course, my whole family thinks I know what's better for me than I do. Not realizing that I am the strongest son of a bitch you'll probably ever meet mentally. They make me go to a psychiatrist. I'm like, I don't want to go. Basically, everybody was insisting, no, you're going. They were throwing me in the car and taking me. I was like, I'm okay. I don't need a psychiatrist. So go to the psychiatrist. She puts me on antidepressants. What do? Gain weight.
Right.
Went back to her. I said, can't put me on anything that's going to make me gain weight because I'm going to be more miserable than I already am. I said, you don't know me. I said, weight gain will make me more depressed than what happened with Chris. Okay. I said, you don't understand. I'm handling that depression okay. She goes, no, well, your mental health is more important than your weight. It's like, you know what? Screw you then. I'm not paying any more money. I'm not coming back to you. I said, put me on something else or I'm done. She wouldn't change me on anything else. So basically, I stopped going back, and over a course of like 2 months, I just weaned myself off, because you can't stop antidepressants right off the bat, because it makes your whole body go loony. So I just weaned myself off and cut pills down smaller and smaller, and then I got off, and I was like, you know what? I didn't even need that. It didn't help depression, because I really wasn't depressed. I'm not a depressed person. I've never had depression, ever in my life. And there were lots of things in my life I could have been depressed about, and I never was. But then all of a sudden, you know, I find out that the one thing she put me on Paxil is the main weight gainer of all the antidepressants. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So by then, I had lost a good, like, 20 pounds. So 3 months of antidepressants, guess what? Right back on.
Right.
I could have killed her. Could have killed her. But, yeah, people don't know that either. I mean, antidepressants fuck up your body. They fuck up your system. They really do. And that was another thing. So people don't know about the pancreatitis, the thyroid problem, and the antidepressants. Well, guess what? Now you know.
I guess the first booking you took was WEW. How did that come about?
Oh, Francine called me and said, I have a booking for you. It was a week after the funeral. And I was like, you know what? I got to get out of the house because I'm just miserable laying here. She's like, it'll be $500. Come on down. I'm like, okay, what the hell, you know?
That was in Texas?
Oh, no. We're talking
okay, yeah,
Dan
okay.
Cowell.
Yeah, Dan. Yeah. Okay.
So I get there, And of course they want to do the 10 bell count and they want me to say something. And I was pretty good at holding it together, but then I broke down afterwards because it was only a week after,
Right.
you know. And then I got really broke down when Dan gave me a check for $100. I was told 5. And I was like, I just came here, got in the ring, poured my heart out on a microphone for all you fucking fans, and you giving me $100 instead of 5? He goes, I never said 5. I'm like, Francine did.
Right.
And then of course she's saying, no, I didn't. Like, I wouldn't have come here for $100.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. So, and then of course on the way home I realized that, you know what, it's too soon. It was way too soon. Big mistake.
I was going to ask you, my next question, in retrospect, were you ready to handle being in front of a crowd again?
Not so soon, no.
Okay.
I thought I did, and that's why I went. Afterwards, I was like, oh, excuse me. I was like, oh, you know what? No, it was too soon. Wasn't ready. And what did I do after that? Got hammered. After I was doing so well.
Right.
Because I was so fucked up in the head thinking, oh my God, that was way too soon. I got way too emotional. I shouldn't have been there. So I'm like, how am I going to numb the pain? Oh, I'm going to go get drunk. You know,
Right.
it's a big mistake. Shouldn't have gone down there. Then none of that would have happened.
Who was your biggest support system afterwards? Was it yourself?
Well, you know, I don't know. It mostly was myself because, like I said, I am the strongest person I know.
Right.
And there's been a lot of times in my life when I needed help, there wasn't really anybody to help me. Only Chris. And really nobody else knew how to help me. So I was like, all right, I've got to kick myself in the ass to, you know, get back on track because nobody else is really going to do it. Luckily, I do have my mom. You know, we didn't get along for a lot of years, and then we started getting along again over the past couple of years, thank God. So I had her. But, yeah, mostly it was like, you know, I would sit there and talk to him and talk to myself, and sometimes I thought I was crazy talking out loud to myself and to him. But, yeah, I just kicked myself in the ass and said, all right, you don't get depressed about this. You're not going to get upset about this. You're going to move on. So.
How much harder was it, I guess, at that point to resist temptation without the support of Chris with, like, alcohol and stuff?
You know what? It wasn't. Because it was such a long time. You running out of battery?
I will switch tapes after this question.
Good, I gotta clean up anyway. It was such a long time for me not to do anything that it's not like I went, okay, I'm gonna go right back down into a ditch. So I was just like, I didn't have the temptation anymore.
Right.
Seriously, it was a long time since I touched a painkiller or a Soma or a Xanax, anything.
Right.
A long time. And it never once did I say, okay, I want to do this again because it was so far out of my mind that it was just, you know, if you're dieting, okay, for whatever.
Right.
And you stop eating ice cream because that's your favorite thing. And you haven't eaten ice cream in like a year. All of a sudden you don't go, I'm going to gorge on ice cream. You're like, you don't
Right.
need the ice cream
Been there,
anymore.
done it.
It's the same thing.
You did an interview where you said that Chris's family held TNA responsible for Chris's death. Do they still hold them responsible?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't talk to his parents.
Okay.
Haven't talked to his mom since it happened. Talked to his dad once, and it wasn't even about that. I needed some help in his dad's hospital. My mom had a car accident, so I called his dad to say, can you rush her through everything?
Right.
That was it.
His dad was a doctor? Or?
No, his dad is the head of engineering of
Okay.
2 hospitals, but he's got pull, basically, and everybody knows him. So I just asked him to make a phone call and ask them to run my mom through the ER quicker. But other than that, no, it doesn't even come up because I don't speak to them.
Okay. Have you and his brother Johnny ever talked about working together on the Indies, or is it pretty
I
much...
see Johnny all the time.
Right.
I mean, even if it's not at a show, I see him a couple times during the week. He comes to, you know, my gym, or I go to see him. We have lunch. Same thing with his sister. So nothing has changed between, you know, me and the sisters and the brother. Nothing at all.
Do you think anybody exploited his death?
Oh yeah. You know how many people had memorial shows that didn't even know him, that he never worked for?
Right.
It was ridiculous. I was finding out left and right, Chris Candido memorial shows. You fuckers didn't even know him.